All right. Hello, everyone. How are you? It's Kei. This is the 6th of August 2022 on Saturday. So thank you for coming again on my live stream today. So this is Saturday. The markets are closed. So I will talk about how to build a valid strategy. That's the main topic for today. And I will talk about this topic based on how I built my own strategy. So I hope you continue to enjoy until the end of the live today. So let's see, let me switch the screen. Okay, and before starting, just a quick disclaimer as usual. Basically, everything I say on my YouTube channel is based on my experience and knowledge. So when you take trades, please do at your own risks. And also, this is a live stream, so if you can please follow the rules and guidelines on the chat, that would be great. And also, please be careful on the spams on social media. I don't do Telegram, I don't do Instagram, I don't do Facebook, and I don't send direct messages to anyone through social media, so please be careful. I even don't send any message on Twitter because I closed the direct message function on Twitter because I actually put this on the direct message function on the Twitter, but I got too many messages. Sometimes I get too many spamming messages, so I closed. So the best way to reach me is by email. Please come to my webpage or click on the below description and reach me out through the contact form or the email. Okay, so let's see. How's your weekend, everyone? I hope you're having a great weekend today. All right, so let's see who's here first. All right, I do see many comments now. Thank you for joining, everyone. Good to see you again. All right, I hope you enjoyed yesterday's video about a theme in August, overview of Kei's trading strategy, and that was the first video yesterday. But I will upload again on that video because the quality was not really good. It was only up to 360 for the resolution. So I will upload again on that video and share it with you. But so the theme in August 2022 is about my strategy. So that was the first video, the part 1 yesterday. So every week, twice per week, I record a video like this on Tuesday and Fridays. I upload these videos. So I hope you enjoy, and I think of what to talk about in September. But I will create a series of videos in one topic in September, and from now on, every month, I do this, so that will be one of the programs on my YouTube channel now. I was actually doing it previously. When I first started YouTube, I took some videos and edited. Maybe you saw my old videos about Ichimoku part 1 to 5 or the price action videos. But I'm starting actually again on the videos. And the theme in Saturday is the trader psychology, and that's exactly what I do today, about how to build your own strategy, plus some psychology topics. Okay, so yeah, let's see who's here first. Rajiv, thank you for joining on my Ichimoku community. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy the Ichimoku journey on my community. So once you join YouTube, you have to connect to Discord. So simply come to my webpage over services, Ichimoku community, and click on how to join. Then you will see the full instruction of how you can join Discord and get all the perks. But again, thank you for joining. I wish your great success in the community here. Okay, so let's see. TSM, thank you for joining. Good to see you too. All right, Maximilian, Kevin, John Hera, thank you for joining. And Holman also, thank you for joining too. And Asif, Master of, thank you for joining also. All right, Timmy, Swapnil, and Lisa, thank you for joining too also. All right, well, Alexander, and Abuta, Bak, Win, and Daniel, thank you for joining as well. Great to see you again. All right, Dirk and YB, PMC, and Taiwo, good to see you too. All right, TikTok, and Man, good to see you too. All right, so today's topic is about how to build the valid strategy. So I took a vote on my YouTube channel, if you've seen that, in community. So let me show it first because I have votes here. So this is the vote I took. So this is something that I will be doing every week. So please check this community. If you come to my YouTube channel and click community, and you can find my posts. But this is the topic for today. So my question was, what is strategy to you? Is strategy for you to bring you profits? Oh, I think this is a bit old. So let me refresh the page. Hold on. Let me refresh so that I can get the correct data on this vote. Okay. So yeah, let me enlarge. Okay. So yeah, so what is strategy to you? Is it to bring you profits, or is it to manage risk, or is it to create scenarios, or is it to know when to enter, exit? So I actually selected these choices and asked to the community. So out of over 400 votes, the least was to create scenarios, was 9%. And the most was to know when to enter, exit, 53%. So I can see that almost half of the people here thinks strategy is to know when to enter and exit. So if you haven't talked about it yet, what do you think? What is your choice? So yeah, so strategy means means not on simply when to enter and exit. Actually, there's more to it actually. So this is part of the strategy. And of course, it has to involve the risk management. It has to involve to create scenarios in the future. If the market goes this way, what would you do? If the market goes that way, what would you do? That also have to be into your strategy if you create the new one. So, but the most important thing about the strategy is actually for me to create scenarios. And this is something that I mentioned yesterday on the video, was that to see which way the market's going, and let's say so for myself, I'm a trend follower, so I build my strategy KTS based on the trend following concept. But if you're the scalper, then the strategy should be different. If you are more the swing trader, or if you are using some other indicators, your strategy should be different from mine. But this concept should be the same, is what I wanted to say. So let's say if you're using somebody else's strategy, if you haven't created your own strategy before, then this topic may not be for you. But even if you're using, let's say, my strategy or Ichimoku strategy, or somebody else's strategy, you have to be able to create future scenarios based on that strategy. So an exit, entry and exit are just a part of the scenario, so to speak. And also risk management is also one of the scenarios, like whether you take 1%, 2%, 3%, or you take the 5% risk in particular markets, particular conditions. That's also like the scenario of what kind of risks you're gonna take on that particular trade. So for me, create scenarios is actually the main focus when I create the strategy. And based on that, I created my own KTS strategy. So, and yeah, to bring profits, that's also true, but that's only the result. That's only the result. So, yeah, so as a result, you make profits, you becomes profitable, but the strategy itself does not really bring you the profits. But the discipline to follow the strategy is what brings you the profits. So sometimes, when I talk about the entries and exits strategies, and when I do the live streams on my YouTube channel, I get, or when I share Ichimoku strategies, sometimes on the email or comments, I get these questions like, what is the perfect entry strategy with Ichimoku? Or what is the powerful confirmation with Ichimoku? And for me, to be honest, there is no like such a powerful confirmation or powerful or like a reliable confirmations. So for example, I use Ichimoku Kinko Hyo to capture the market direction. If Kumo flat, it's range. If Kumo's down like this, Kijun Sen is down, Tenkan Sen down, Senko span A down, Chikou span below candles, I say that this is bearish, but I don't say that the market will go down. I never say that. I say that this is bearish, but it doesn't mean that the market goes down, for example. And also, I enter the trades based on the 5-minute time frame in Forex. In 5 minutes, I don't use Ichimoku. I use the Bollinger Bands and stochastics and other tools and lines, but I don't trust one single confirmation. And I think that is also important for you to build a strategy. Before I was relying on one single confirmation to enter exit. Let's say gold cross to buy, dead cross to sell, or band walking to buy or sell and exit on the squeeze, for example. I was using one single indicator and one single confirmation for entries and exits, and I think that's like normal for most of the traders. But sometimes, it gives you fake signals. Sometimes the market goes backwards, and it happens, right? It happens. The market goes back. It happens to me too. After a number of trade experience, there are times that the market goes back. So that means there's nothing wrong, even if the market goes back. But there should be something wrong if you are missing the correct exit timing with the loss. So that's why not only the exit, but also, not only the enter the market, but also exit timing should also be into consideration into your own strategy. So let's say the market goes down from here. This is bearish on the higher time frame. So the market goes down this way, and then you will see dead cross. The dead cross hasn't happened yet, but the dead cross about to be happening if the market breaks the support and band walk. So we have, let's say in this case for my strategy, we we have two confirmations, band walking and dead cross. But even if I see band walking and dead cross, in a sense, I don't trust them. Like I do see these confirmations, but if the market goes back, I know when to exit is the most important part with my strategy. And I know exactly what risk I'm taking. So if you become better at the risk management and exit timings, then your trade performance will be much, much better. You know, whenever we think about looking for the entry timing, looking for the strategy, you may think about the entry timings only, but the exit timing is also very important. Yeah, this is stochastics. This is the stochastics I'm using here, stochastics, and this is my setting, percent K30, percent D10, and slowing smooth 10 is my setting here. But yeah, again, so whenever I talk about the strategy, or whenever you look for the strategy, you might only think about the entry timings, when to enter, how to take a trade, how to execute the entries. But you have to think backwards. You have to think about the exit timing, when to exit after the entry, and then you build your own strategy. But I found that I think the most of the traders do some mistakes on this part. And I was one too. I was only looking for the perfect entry timing so that the market goes towards my direction afterwards. But I figured it's impossible. Of course, sometimes it goes backwards. But again, when I become better at the exit timing, and when I'm able to create a scenario of when exactly to exit after my entry, then my performance gets much better. So yeah, when you're looking for a strategy, or when you are building some strategy on yourself, then always think about the exit timing too. Exit with a loss or exit with a profit. So that's one of the things I wanted to mention today about the strategy part, how to build the valid strategy. Yeah, so let me see. Yeah, let me check some comments here now before moving on to the next topic. All right, thank you for joining everyone again. Good to see you. Good to see you here. Taiwo says, I have a challenge on stop loss and most appropriate TP. Yeah, stop loss should also be into your strategy too. First of all, you have to put the stop loss. If you don't put the stop losses yet, then you better learn where to put the stop loss and how to place the stop losses. And for me, let's say I look for the selling edge. Let's say I expect the break. I wait for the breakout on the support. And if this really happens, then I think about where to place a stop loss before the breakout happens. Before the breakout happens, I think about the stop loss in my head. So if the market breaks here, then if I have a couple of confirmations, then my stop loss will be either here on 137.49, or I put the stop loss above the wick here, 137.54, or I put the stop loss above here, above this resistance, 137.56. So to know which one to take, I measure the pips to the stop loss, and my stop losses should be between 20 to 40%, 20 to 40 pips in range is my ideal stop loss pips. So the first one, if I take the first one, then this is only 14 pips and this is below 20. So I don't take this one. Especially if it breaks here, it becomes like 17 pips. Even so, this is a bit too low for the stop loss. So I don't take this, but I take the second one, which is going to be 22 pips. So 22 pips is okay because there's a wick. There was a double top shape here, and there was a neckline break. So I can trust this double top neckline breakout for the stop loss. In this case, most likely I put the stop loss here at 137.54 and take around 22 pips of stop loss. But your strategy has to also include where to put the stop loss before you enter the trades. That's also very important, I think. Before, I didn't place stop losses and I lost so much money. I blew account because I didn't put the stop losses. So that was expensive lesson. Based on that expensive lesson, I learned how to put the stop loss. Yeah, before when I was a newbie, I didn't really even know what the stop loss is. So yeah, now I kind of laugh myself when I how I was, really beginner when I started trades. Because I thought stop losses is not necessary because if the market goes towards my direction, why do we have to put the stop loss? If the market just goes backwards, I exit. But if I put the stop loss here, then I thought I fix the loss. For example, the market goes back this way. And because I put the stop loss, I have to exit. And afterwards, the market may go down. And I might lose opportunity to make this profit. I was thinking like that. So because of this reason, I didn't put the stop loss. But yeah, sometimes the market just keeps going up this way against my direction. And I had huge losses. And that's why I thought, okay, stop loss is important. I have to learn how to put the stop loss. And then I took that also in my strategy. That was even before I started to use Ichimoku. So, and long ago. But yeah, I never want to lose big again. That's why I put the stop loss now. Okay. All right, let me see. Thank you for joining, everyone. I see. Michael says, then you should have added another response like all over the above. Money's risk was mine. Oh yeah, so all over the above, but the most important to me is to create scenarios. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Blackwater says, one of the main mistakes we make is to focus too much on our entries and our exits. Yeah. Well, actually, if you only focus on the entries and exits, then you can be successful. That's for sure. You have to know how to manage the risk, how to manage the stop loss also. Like, so let's say after the entry, this is also my strategy. So I am a trader who hates losses. I want to take the minimum loss as possible every time I enter trades. So up to stop loss, I take 2% risk. Let me talk about the risk management. I take 2% risk to stop loss. So if the market goes back, I lose 2%. That means if I have 10K, then I lose 200. So that's 2% of my account, for example. So 2% to stop loss is my rule. But let's say the market goes towards my direction afterwards. The market breaks the support. I took sell, entry here. And then the market goes down, up. First, the market goes up in range and then goes down like this. In this case, I don't leave the stop loss here. Because I see this range and breakout confirmation on the 5-minute, I lower the stop loss. So in this case, I lower the stop loss to either here. So let me put another line. I lower the stop loss either here, the most recent high, or above the range. Depending on how strong the breakout is, I will move the stop loss either here or here. Here or here, so that I reduce my risk per trade. So that means if I, let's say, move the stop loss from here to here, then I'm not risking 2% anymore. I will be only risking maybe 0.5 because 2% is up here, 1% will be here. So if I move the stop loss to here, and if the market goes back, I lose only 1%, right? So this is like the 50%, I think. So if I lower to here, that will be less than 0.5, maybe 0.3, 0.4 drawdown if the market goes up from here. So that's also important to manage the stop loss until you set the break-even line. And this should also be into your strategy. Before, I just keep the stop loss like here and I didn't move because if I lose 2%, then I just accept it. If the market goes towards my direction, simply I trail or I just fix profit. So I didn't move the stop loss. But by moving the stop losses like this accordingly and logically, then you can lose less. And that is also very important to bring your profit factor higher, because the profit factor is calculated by the profit divided by loss. So to maximize the profit factor, there is only two things. One is to make big picks, big profits, and the other is to reduce your risk per trade, reduce your drawdown per trade. And which one's easy? To get the bigger pips in the market or reduce the risk? And reducing the risk is much easier because you can manage. In terms of the profit, you can't manage because you can't control the market, but you can control the stop loss. You can drag and drop the stop loss after entry. So, like I mentioned before, we have to focus on what we can manage, and things you cannot manage, you have to let it go. So stop loss, you can manage a lot size. Stop loss, you can move the stop loss like this. So it's always better to reduce the risk as the market goes on. And that also should be included in your strategy. And that's part of the scenario for me. So again, the scenario is here. A part of the scenario is about the stop loss also. Not only the direction of the market, but the stop loss scenario too. You have to think about into your strategy. That's also how I created my own strategy. So let me come back to some comments. Okay, again, thank you for joining everyone. Good to see you. I hope you have a great weekend today. This is Saturday on the 6th of August. Okay, thank you for joining. I see one number of Bollinger Bands. So these Bollinger Bands I use two Bollinger Bands. As you see here, I use two Bollinger Bands, and one I use the length 20 with deviation 1, and the other one I use with the same length 20 and deviation 2. So I have two bands. 2 Bollinger Bands so that I can capture the squeeze and expansion better visually. Okay, what can be the target? Target can be the previous support resistance in higher time frames, like daily or the weekly time frames. Matthew says, do you backtest your strategy? If so, can you speak a minute on what is important when doing it? I feel like trading often includes knowing average loss and win to know if the strategy is still valid. Yeah, so I was going to talk about that topic next, about how to backtest and what numbers to focus on backtesting. So I have these pairs on my watch list. I have 21 pairs from Euro USD down to Swiss franc JPY. I have 21 pairs, and these pairs are there because I backtested it. Based on my strategy, I did 100 trades on every single market, every single pair, and I got the PF, profit factor, of above 5. And that's why they are here. And I wasn't doing so well on the New Zealand pair, let's say. That's why I don't put the New Zealands here, because I know my strategy doesn't really work on the New Zealand when I was backtesting. It may work now, it may work, but in the long run, it may not work. So let's say out of 100 trades in New Zealand pairs, one of the New Zealand pairs on the live market to the future, then you might end up with losing or break even. So yeah, when you backtest, not only backtest only 10 times, 20 times, but at least do 100 trades, 100 trades, yeah. So for me, I take 2 positions. So let's say I sell here. So when I sell, I execute 2 positions. So I press sell button twice. So usually you will see my screenshot like double positions like this, and 2 stop losses over here. So stop loss on 1 each, 2 stop losses, and I take 2% risk. That means each position to stop loss, I take 1%. And together, I take 2% to stop loss. Yeah, so and after the entry, I manage a stop loss. So I have 2 stop losses, so I manage 2 different stop losses as long as the market goes towards my direction. And as for the backtesting, so I take 2 trades, and what I mean by 100 trades means not 100 positions. If you take 2 trades every time, then that will be 200 positions and 100 trades. So for me, I take 2 positions every time I enter the market. So I took 200 positions and 100 entries. That's what I mean by 100 entries, 100 times of backtesting. And I do this manually. I never run the EA, I never run the robot. All my trades are done manually every time. So I took 100 trades on each pair on my watch list. So when you verify your strategy to see if it works or not, don't pick only 1 pair, but pick a couple pairs, at least 5. You select the 5 pairs and backtest 100 trades and then see the result, is my other advice. And never be satisfied only 10 trades or 20 trades of the result. Because 10 trades and 20 trades would be, I'm not sure about the frequency of the number of your trades per month, but it may be 1 week or 1 month. But when you have to verify it at least for the yearly basis. So for me, I take like 7 or 8 trades in average per month. So 100 trades will be like 1 year. 1 year positions, 1 year trades. So if I take like 1 year back testing, 1 year number of positions, and if I get this, if I got the result right, then I can be confident in the future, in the live market for the next 1 year, on a yearly basis, I should be fine. So that's the reason why I do 100 trades on my watch list on the pairs. So, okay, let's see. Swapnil says, can we exit before the target? Yeah, you can exit before the target. For me, I exit when the market becomes flat. I mean, Ichimoku Kumo, Kijun-sen becomes flat. I look for an exit timing. And it may happen before the market reaches target. Or it may happen after the market breaks target, then the market may go flat. So I have targets, but I don't exit on the targets. I don't exit on the resistance and support. As long as it goes, I keep trading, and when it stops trending, I exit. So that is my exit strategy. Okay, let's see. Ravi says, can you please teach us any scalping techniques on Ichimoku on M5, M15? I don't scalp by Ichimoku, so I can't teach. I do only day trade to swing trade, and I think Ichimoku is a bit lagging and too many fakes on the lower time frames. So if you want to scalp, I recommend you to use other tools. Do you put the stop loss in system or mind? I do put the stop loss in system. Physically, I place the stop losses here. Maximilian says, sometimes I was feeling like market hunting my stop loss and suddenly market brings back to the direction I initially placed. Yeah. It happens to me too. It happens. Yes. But as long as you know when to exit, when the right time to exit, you should be fine. I think the biggest mistake is not knowing when to exit when you are having losses, when you're running losses. So yeah, that's also, I think it's important. Stop loss is evil, but necessary. Okay. Yeah, stop loss is not evil. It's not evil because it protects your asset. So it's not evil, I think. Stop loss is your guardian, so to speak, for security. Okay, hi K, can stochastics detect false breakout? False breakout? Stochastics, no, it doesn't detect a false breakout. All right, yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for the thumbs up. Yeah, it definitely keeps me going. Thank you so much. Yeah, so let me see any other. How to deal with the patience and anxiety and fear by having a sound system, by having a solid and valid system. Then it also protects your psychology. If you don't know when to exit entry, then and if you only trade by your emotion, by your intuition, then you may still have fear, and anxiety while you're in the trades. So I think having a valid system is what protects you. If I don't have my own system, if I don't have my own strategy based on Ichimoku in multiple time frames, I won't be able to live as I do right now. Yeah, Daniel says trading stop loss is also very good for locking in profit too in case of a market reverse. Yes, and that's what I do too. And that also should be into your strategy. So let's say the market breaks, I enter sell, and the market goes down towards my direction. And at some point, I move these stop losses to break even. Break even means, so this is sell, the market is going down towards our direction, and I move the stop loss below the position, like this, below the position, so that even if the market goes back, I don't lose anything. And it helps a lot in your psychology. I think the break-even strategy is, I think, one of the most important part of my strategy. Because I think until I set the break-even is the game I play. And after I set the break-even, I don't really care. I don't come back to the chart often. Maybe I will come back in 3 hours, 4 hours, because I know I don't lose. But before I move the stop loss to break even, potentially I still lose. So I have to monitor. And if the market goes backwards, I have to exit. But if I set the break even, I can feel safe. So I can just, do my own things. I can just enjoy my life and fun, and then come back. And if the market goes towards my direction continuously, then I move the stop loss to lock profits like this. This is reversed in wave. So I move the stop loss to here, and I fix a profit of, in this case, like 11 pips. And as it goes on, bearish like this, I trial the profits, lock in some profits, and if the market goes back, I simply take profit here. Yeah, that is also my strategy. That's also my take profit strategy. And I have 2 trades, 2 positions and two stop losses. So even if one is taken, I still have the other one. And the market may go down continuously this way. This is like stop loss hunt. Sometimes, like you mentioned, there's a stop loss hunt. The market goes up and breaks in the M5, and then the market goes down again. In this case, I move the second stop loss to here and lock in some profit and keep following downtrend in this way. So that's how I secure these profits and trial in the long run. If I only have one position and one stop loss, if this one is taken, then my game is over. But by having these 2 positions and 2 stop losses, even if one's taken, I have another one. So I start to trial on another one continuously along the way. So that's how I manage the stop losses. But I will talk about these details in future series of videos here, a theme in August. But just for the heads up and just to let you know how I created my strategy, I wanted to talk about this topic today, so that at least you can refer to my thought process and you create your own system nicely. Because once you create your valid strategy, then you can keep using it. And you actually also get better at it, and entries and exits become just natural. Like just like riding bicycle, riding a car. When you first drive, it's really difficult because you have to pay attention to all these. But once you're used to it, it becomes natural. And same is true in trades. Same is true in trading strategy. Once you get better at it, you can't come back to the beginner. Yeah, I really think that's true based on my experience. Okay, John Harris says, for me, Kei, it's the confidence. I seem to continue to scalp trade, can't seem to trade within the trend even though a trend exists. Yeah, so you have to follow, you have to start following the major trend directions. Yeah. Blackwater and Matthew, you're welcome. Steven says, hi Kei, let's say I have two strategies. A has profit factor 4 and gain 15%. B has profit factor 3 and gain 20%. Which strategy would you prefer? I prefer A because I value PF more than the returns. Yeah, and I value PF more than the returns because if PF is higher, then that means I get more profits in ratio. Yeah, I think the higher PF strategy works better in the long run. Yeah, so that's why I prefer higher PF strategy. Okay, Alexander says, I would like to share my experience with our Sensei strategy and the option stock market. The best movements